Stay tuned and let's check out this Marvel Legends Disney Plus What If Hydra Stomper Build-A-Figure Wave Warrior Gamora. Hello and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember now you can hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today we continue looking at this Marvel Legends Disney Plus Hydra Stomper Build-A-Figure Wave. As in front of me we have Warrior Gamora from that same What If series. She did turn up at the end of season 1 with the rest of the Guardians of the Multiverse, so if you're trying to round them out in figure form, she is one you're going to need to add to the collection. But her particular episode got delayed until season 2, so we're yet to really find out the context of why is she wearing Thanos' armor, but we will find out very soon. Until then, we have the figure in plastic to whet our appetite, and she actually got revealed nearly a year ago at MCM Comic-Con in London, so it's been one of the longest digital render reveals to actual product in a long time. But here she is now, plastic-free packaging, What If logo, the Watcher is always watching up top, a picture from the What If series on that side. On the back, another digital render with her only accessory, which is that giant dual-bladed sword. She does come with an arm for the Hydra Stomper Build-A-Figure, so you will need to get her to build him. Go and check out my full review on the channel right now, and if you want to see him complete, there he is. That is the complete Hydra Stomper. To build him, you will need to buy the other 6 figures in this wave of 7. Today we're reviewing Gamora, or Warrior Gamora. So let's get her open. Here we have Gamora out of the packaging holding her only weapon, which is that massive dual-bladed sword. Now, how did she get that? Did she kill Thanos? Did she inherit it? We're going to have to wait until we see the episode to find out. But as a Gamora in Thanos armor, the figure looks very nice, completely pinless as well, so no reuse here. She's got the double jointed elbows, the double jointed knees, so hopefully she moves good as well. I guess a lack of interchangeable hands will make the posing limited, but we'll find that out in a minute. Let me get the tape measure out, and you can see that she's about 6.5 inches tall, which is pretty tall for your average female Marvel Legend. It's a smidge bigger, but I guess she is wearing that armor, and just to show you how big the sword is, it's literally taller than her. And this is a new sword as well. This isn't reuse left over from the MCU. This is newly tooled, unique for Gamora. So of course we're going to take a closer look, try some head swaps. Can we fudge her into a comic display? We'll find that out. But if you are a Legends collector, let me introduce you to a website I think you might like. Let me introduce you to legendsverse.com, a place all Marvel Legends collectors are going to want to know about. If you are looking for an easy way to keep track of your collection, what figures you have, and create wish lists, then Legendsverse can do all of this and so much more. It's a comprehensive Marvel Legends database that once you have added your collection, gives you stats like how many figures you own, how many waves and Build-A-Figures you have completed, and how much your collection is worth right now. Organize your collection in teams, upload photos of each figure, look at price guides, and share your collection with friends by showcasing your own profile. Go and sign up and see for yourself. Legendsverse.com. Check out all the links and the socials in the video's description. If you're a Marvel Legends collector, then honestly, it's worth a look. And so is Gamora, because look at this head sculpt. I think they've done a really good job here. Now, of course, it's based off an animation style, so it's a lot more stylized in design, but I still think they've hit the nail on the head. The green skin still has the digital face printing tech on there, so you can see all the facial features really clearly. And then her, like, tattoos are glimmering a little bit under my lights, done in that white. And then she's still got the red highlights in the bottom of her hair as well. So yeah, based off the animation style, this absolutely looks like a solid Gamora with a nice hair sculpt as well. And more of the red is shown towards the back as well, that dangles over the armor. So yeah, that's nicely done. A nice gradient from the red to the black, nicely sculpted hair as well. And the face, really good. So the only comparison I'm going to really do is to the MCU version of Gamora. So here we have our What If version of Gamora compared to our live action, which I guess are both technically MCU. I don't think we're going to be able to do any head swaps, but I might try one in a minute. But first, let's continue looking at Gamora here. So the head obviously had that thick head of hair, so looking up isn't going to be great, but she can bury the chin quite a lot, as you can see there. And there's articulation here on the ball joint at the diaphragm, so So you can get a leaning back more than you can leaning forward, but of course that's where you get your swivel and lots of tilt as well. But let's just take a look at the armor first and foremost, as it has got a nice sort of glisten to it with this gold metallic armor. Not too much marbleization either, and it's a nice contrast to the greys, and the green really does pop throughout the armor here. Now the armor continues all the way down to the legs, and then the boot, she has like these hollow sort of heel wedges on, and she's also got like these thick knee pads. But as you can see, completely pinless double jointed knees, completely pinless double jointed elbows as well. And look at the range here. So that armor piece on the top of the shoulder is actually attached to the top of the shoulder. So there's a bicep swivel under there that you probably didn't notice. That doesn't hinder it at all. And then look at that double jointed elbow. Look at that range, even with the wrist gauntlets on as well. So great range for a character with all this armor on. She's got a single joint in the wrists as well. Moving down to the legs, again, she's got this skirt piece that does lift up on the front and on the back. And again, the same details are on the back that are on the front, so they didn't skimp anywhere. You've got the thigh cut there, no problem at all, but it will mess up the design. And then just looking at the knees, you have the double jointed knee. She can kick her own butt all day long, so yeah, no issues with that. And then you've got ankle pivot and rocker, and again, females with these type of wedges on are quite awkward to stand, so I'm sure when you start getting her into dramatic poses with that giant sword, it may start getting a little bit difficult. But all in all though, aesthetically, for the character, I think it's a solid representation in plastic here. They've done a good job. And her only accessory is of course this dual wielding blade, which as you've seen is over 6.5 inches in length. And I'm just assuming here, I haven't compared it to every version of this we've got, but I'm assuming it's new and it isn't just reuse that we've already got. But if I'm wrong, I'm sure someone will point that out. But let me zoom in so you can see some of this sculpted detail on the blade here. A nice wash would have really brought out some of this detail, but it is in there all sculpted on either side, so that's nicely done. The hilt is like a sort of ribbed sort of sculpt texture, and then I assume the other blade is exactly the same, just in reverse of course, so it's symmetrical. But yeah, really nicely done here, done in that sort of chrome, and then you've got the gold to match her armor, and again the chrome. So let's bring Gamora back in, and as I said, that gold does sort of match really nicely. She does only have one sort of gripping hand, so you can see she's got one gripping hand and one sort of open hand that you definitely can't hold this in. It won't grip it at all. So the only way for her to grip this is in that one hand, which she does hold it pretty well, to be fair, considering it's quite weighty. But I guess depending on the pose you get her in, it's going to start getting a little bit more awkward. Now, I'm definitely not the guy you go to on YouTube to pose your action figures, but I would say a second gripping hand would have made a difference here, as there's plenty of room in the middle here to grip that with two hands, and it would have made her hold it a lot more sturdily. Now, I've just got her gripping it up here on the blade. The blade is thick enough for her to grip with that second hand, but for a neutral pose, getting her on the shelf, I'm sure she's going to be absolutely fine. But as you start posing her up more dramatically, wearing those wedges and only one hand to grip the sword, it might start getting awkward. But just as a neutral look on the shelf, then I've got no faults with this one. I think she looks really good. Moving into comparisons, let's of course start off with a Gamora. This is the live action Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 version, as for some reason we never got one for Volume 3. And to be honest, this is the only Gamora in my Marvel Legends collection, as I'm yet to get a comic one. I know we had that box set from Entertainment Earth a long time ago. I never got that. It never had a UK release. So I am desperately in need of some modern Guardians being re-released in comic form for our collection. And Gamora is of course on that list. So until then, could we maybe use this new Gamora as a comic Gamora? You can see she's a lot taller, but maybe we can do a head swap. Let's try it. Now for the record, I don't really think this works, but proportionately, I guess it sort of does. Now the greens of course don't match, so it does look very bright on her face. It sort of looks like Jim Carrey's The Mask, but that is there for anyone who wanted to see. Maybe you can customize a comic Gamora using both of these. I don't know. I don't think it will work, and this definitely doesn't work. This is MCU Gamora in this massive armor, so yeah, the most unnecessary head swap ever. But in case you were curious, now you know. And here we have our daddy and daughter comparison, as we have Gamora compared to the Marvel Select Thanos. Now the reason I've got the Select one and not any Marvel Legends is they were all amalgamations, and none of them were really an accurate representation of him in his full gold armor. So I think Marvel Select actually did a more accurate version. So here we have that for comparison. Now, of course, it's live action versus the animated style of the What If show, but you can definitely still see they're wearing similar outfits, so it works in that sense. Here we have Gamora compared to the recent Marvel Legends Deluxe Thanos from the comic world. So of course, two forms of media, you've got animation versus the comic book page, but I guess you can fudge those two in a lot more than you can live action, but it's completely up to you. I'm just showing you options. And if you're trying to build out your Guardians of the Multiverse, then yes, you will absolutely need Gamora to fill out that team. Here we have Killmonger, Strange, Captain Carter, and then T'Challa, Star-Lord. And I think then we're missing Party Thor and also that Armageddon version of Black Widow. I think those two would complete that sort of core team of the Guardians of the Multiverse. And no What If collection is complete without the Watcher himself. And of course, if you want to add some fun into the mix, then don't forget Howard the Duck. And then here we have the Infinity Ultron, and of course I had to see how she looked compared to her sister from the What If series as well. It is of course Nebula, and can I just say, both of their hairs look fabulous. They clearly go to the same salon. And then the other two What If figures in this very same Hydra Stomper wave is the Hydra Stomper himself. Go and check out my full review on the channel. And then we have Blue Ant-Man, aka Goliath, who I'll review very soon. And then to wrap up, here we have some of the Who crew with Frogman, Tigra and Jocasta, who is reading out comments from the last Marvel Legends review. Make sure you leave a comment on this video and she may pick you to read on the next one. Who have you picked today?
Sumi's 247 says, "Love this figure, hey, I want."
And then last, but absolutely never least, here we have Captain Britain and Hal, Fire, Hank. Not yet. So, final thoughts on this Marvel Legends Disney Plus What If Hydra Stomper Build-A-Figure Wave Warrior Gamora. Now, we're going to have to wait a little while longer to find out her full story, but at least I can say the action figure is very, very nice. There's no reuse here. It is all brand new. So they have went all out with this Warrior Gamora, and it shows it is a completely pinless female Marvel Legend with all the articulation you're going to want. Limited in some areas, yes, but still a solid representation of the figure for your collection. And you're going to need her when you're standing there amongst the rest of the Guardians of the Multiverse. Now, of course, I would have liked more hands for different posing options and the ability to get to hold that sword a little bit tighter for some more dynamic poses. But for what it is, I like it a lot. So you let me know what you think in the comments below, and let me know if you actually want to complete the Guardians of the Multiverse. Like, would you buy a Party Thor and Black Widow 2-pack, for example, to complete the team? Let me know your thoughts. And if you like Legends Verse and you want to try and keep your collection all organized, then check it out. Honestly, worth a look. Links in the description. But if you like Marvel Legends, you're in the right place. Check out the videos tab, find the playlist, the podcast, but most importantly, please hit that subscribe button, hit all of the notification bell, don't miss out on a video, and please hit that join button, become a channel member, either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. You can check out those other tiers as well for different perks, but follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. I'm on Twitter or X at Dan Who Reviews, and I will of course see you on the next one.